What's up? Yours truly, Michael Ferrera, back in another edition of Style Your Life. And in this segment, inspired by some of my team members, my coaches, and some of my closest friends, we're going to be talking about boundaries, and more specifically, your boundaries towards wealth and how you need to establish, create, and maintain your boundaries so you can achieve the levels of wealth that you desire and enjoy life while doing it. Let's get into that segment right now. Now, as usual, this is your first time here. Most of my content and all of my content is dedicated to my clients. But if you're not a client and you happen to find this video and you happen to be here, thank you for being here. I invite you to subscribe. I invite you to like. I invite you to comment and ask questions and join the community so we can serve at a higher level. As we come here, now, many of you may be sharing, okay, boundaries towards wealth. And as I talk about boundaries towards wealth, I hear someone saying, and you might be saying it yourself, well, if you're wealthy, how do you have boundaries? The purpose of being wealthy is to do unlimited in anything you want. Yeah, but not particularly, because the way that you become wealthy, and more importantly, stay wealthy, is by having the boundaries that you live in so that you can live at the ultimate level and the highest level of enjoyment in your life. Now, I'll explain this in a couple of segments here, but particularly we're going to talk about how you build and form the boundaries to get towards your financial wealth. And specifically in this section, we're going to be talking about financial wealth. Wealth, in my opinion, as you know, is not related to only money. Yes, money is a part of wealth, but absolutely not the only part. Wealth is life, wealth is health, wealth is relationships, wealth is energy, experiences, finances, and all the above. So wealth, in my opinion, is not limited only to money. Yes, wealth is a part, and money is a part of wealth, but not the only part. So keep that in mind as we go through this segment. Wealth is a plethora of things, and wealth is, more importantly, the enjoyment of life. But in this particular segment, we're going to talk about the financial components and how to build financial boundaries towards your wealth. Now let's jump into this. Now, one of the key components that I teach all of my clients in disciplining as we get money. Most of us generate money or desire to get money in some capacity. Is that correct? Yeah, right. I get that. So the biggest boundary that you have to form is not the money that comes in, because money that comes in will change. You'll get raises, you'll get bonuses, you'll have a bigger sales month, a higher sales month, a slower sales month, greater sales season, slower sales season, depending on what your business is or if you're an entrepreneur. So the monies that come in will change. What will not change is your discipline with how you use it. So the most important boundary when building your boundaries towards financial wealth is you have to build boundaries as it relates to the money that goes out, right? Where does your money go? Where is it allocated to? And one of the biggest components that I see my wealthiest and the highest successful people that have achieved great financial success in this world is they have a discipline on where money goes. Now, think about this for a minute. You may have seen this in some of our other content. When you get paid, where does your money go? Yeah, I heard someone say, right, pay bills, pay rent, pay mortgage, right, pay the bill, credit card, the phone, cell phone. I heard that, right? The biggest challenge that I'll ask you and I'll challenge you to consider is, why isn't the money going to you first? Meaning, and you've heard this term before, pay yourself work. Sounds cool. Most people don't do it, right? Most people will pay the phone bill, pay the gas bill, pay the rent, pay the mortgage, pay the list goes on. And then whatever's left over, they'll save and give money to yourself. I challenge you and encourage you in your boundaries toward wealth is that you have to set a boundary on who you actually pay, right? Who gets your money once you have it? Who gets it, right? And the boundary that you need to put first and foremost is the boundary around yourself, right? Once money comes in, make sure that you have the discipline and the commitment to yourself to give yourself some form of money. And that's how you begin to create wealth, whether that be for your retirement goals, your future goals, or whatever endeavors. In my opinion, I take this foundation from, not even opinion, right? It totally works. You can see other content that we've done that proves it. But the richest man in Babylon, whatever you call it, my family's Caribbean, so we say Babylon. Anyway, the richest man in Babylon, George Clayson. Phenomenal book, fantastic book. It's a very easy read. You could probably finish it in a day or two. And one of the foundational principles is that all the money that comes in, 10% of your money needs to go to you, right? Meaning saving for retirement, saving for a long-term future, saving for ... goal, right? Experience, whatever it is. So make sure that you have the boundary of where your money goes out in order to continue your wealth. The simplest way, there's no minimum or maximum, but I will say in starting that discipline and that boundary is at the very minimum, and if you can't even do that, what is it? Is it 1% that you give to yourself? If you make, $3,000, do you give yourself $30 that I'm going to just save away? That's 1%, right? Or can you do 10? If you make $3,000, at the very minimum, I can save for myself, invest for my future at $300. Whatever that number is, I say at minimum, I challenge you and encourage you to at minimum be investing and saving in yourself at $300 for your long-term future, right? Not $300 in that example, 10%. 10% that is going to be given to you. Now from there, the remaining 90 is what you decide for who gets bills paid, etc., gifts, donations, etc., to the community and the people that you serve, and the responsibilities and obligations that you have. So that's your number one boundary in building financial wealth. Who is getting your money? And quite frankly, you have to put a boundary around it, right? You don't just buy anything and like, oh my gosh, I got paid today. Let's, have a leisure dinner or an extra fun, extravagant experience. Yes, those things happen, but they should be planned and they should be very intentional and not unorganized, and there's no boundaries behind it. So that's number one. Make sure you put the boundary around yourself to give yourself money first. All right. Now, as we hop into this next topic, the second area in what I like to call boundaries towards your financial wealth is truly enjoying the life experience that we have while simultaneously knowing what your long-term and short-term objectives are. Let me explain. Many times we get invitations, we get invites, we get celebrations, random outings. Hey, let's go to Germany, let's go to France, let's go to Rome, let's go to a bar or a club or Vegas and, splurge and spend money, right? All of those things are the enjoyment in life. And we should enjoy those things in our life because that's why we're here. Life is created to be lived, right? Not simply to be here and pay bills and go to work and do it all over. I encourage you above all things, make sure that we live life to the fullest. And in that living life, we have to put boundaries around the destinations and experiences that we like to have in order for us to truly, truly enjoy life at the highest level. Now, and I hear someone saying, okay, if it's a boundary, how am I living life at its highest level? Well, the reason it is at the highest level is because you know what your boundaries and expectations and disciplines and commitments are, right? The word boundary doesn't have to be confining. It doesn't have to be crunching or crushing or diminishing. The boundary, quite frankly, simply allows you to play the game of life in the arena that you're in and play it at the best you can possibly do.
This makes me sad.